Danny Flexer for SecondsOut here with Caoimhin Agyarko. We're just before the public workouts at Brent Cross Shopping Centre for the big show at Wembley Arena on Saturday night. How much are you looking forward to fighting? You've been amateur for a long time, fighting in a really well-known pro venue as Wembley Arena.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Training camp's done now. Everything's went well last couple of days. It's a big venue with a stacked card with a lot of talented fighters, and I'm looking forward to putting on a good performance.
Do you know who you're going to be fighting, and if so, do you know much about them?
You call him Martin something from Czech Republic. I'm not too sure. Yeah, he's okay. I don't think he's as good as my last two opponents, but I've still got to get in and put on a good performance. So it's another test for me, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's a brutally honest assessment, and we thank you for that. You're looking to be busy this year. By the end of this year, what sort of level are you looking to be at?
All I'm looking to do is progress, put on good performances, and stay undefeated. As long as my team and my coaches are happy, I'll fight whenever they want, whoever they want, and I don't focus on looking for titles or anything like that at the end of the year. If they come, they come. But as long as I'm progressing and my team's happy with my performances, then I'm happy.
Alan Smith, you're there wrapping the hands. It's something you've done thousands of times before, of course. Caoimhin says as long as his team are happy, then everything's good. Are you happy with his progress so far? And at this stage, is he learning more in the gym, perhaps, than he's learning in the ring?
Yeah, I think he's been matched a little bit harder than the rest of them. You know, his last opponent was 3 fights.
I'll keep rapping, we're testing you here, multitasking.
Dane Power's going to climb down there, have a look. And I think that really he was matched hard his last fight, 3 fights, 3 wins, 3 KOs. So this is a much easier test for him, I believe. So from that now, I want him to see him add a different element to his game. And I'd like to see him try and get this guy out of there. And each fight he's going to learn, as good as he was as an amateur, he's only 22. So yeah, end of the year, I'd like him to be 6-0, and then there's no rush with him. And then we sit down with the team and Francis and Frank and see where we are with it.
Caoimhin, who have you been doing most of your sparring with, either in the gym or whether you've had to travel?
Most of it's been in the gym. Went to an amateur club, did a couple of amateurs, but I sparred Lerone Richards this camp, which is an unbelievable spar for me. Lerone's an unbelievable talent, very good slick southpaw. So I think this camp he's probably the best I've sparred with. But I sparred with a couple other guys who's very good. But I had a very good spar with Lerone, and we'll only learn off each other, and it's a great spar for me.
Who are the kind of leading domestic lights at middleweight at the moment, would you say? Who are you going to be targeting as it becomes 2020?
Whoever's there. I don't focus on that right now. Right now, Liam Williams is British champion. I doubt he'll be British champion by the time I'm looking for my shot at the title. But whoever's there, whoever's British champion, there's a couple middleweights on this card who could be potential fights. But whoever's there and whoever's willing to fight, I'll fight them.
You mentioned Liam Williams, he's got the British title. Felix Cash has got the Commonwealth belt at the moment. There's been talks between the two. They might fight somewhere later this year. Who would you fancy if that came off?
Liam Williams. I rate Liam Williams very highly, especially to come up from late middle. I think he's perfect at middleweight. I think he's big enough, he hits hard enough, and I just think he's too experienced for Felix Cash right now. He's too experienced.
Is Liam Williams a bit of not an example, but it shows you that you don't have to be the biggest middleweight in the world to become successful? You're not the biggest middleweight in the world, you're quite broad, but you're not the tallest middleweight. But it shows that you don't have to be necessarily to achieve big things.
No, definitely not. You don't have to be a big middleweight to achieve things. At any weight, you don't have to be the biggest. You look at Mike Tyson, he was 5'11", and he was a heavyweight, one of the best heavyweights of all time.
Even Golovkin arguably isn't a big middleweight. Canelo isn't a huge, he's huge and stocky, but he's not the tallest middleweight.
They're not big middleweights, and you don't height means nothing. They always say the bigger they are, the harder the fall. So yeah, height's doesn't mean nothing. Boxing's all about skills, and whoever has the best skills and can punch the hardest will win the fight.
Who do you kind of admire? I know earlier off camera you were talking about Marvin Hagler. Is that someone you look to as a kind of an inspiration, or is there someone else from the middleweight pantheon?
I think middleweight, I would like this era. Golovkin is one of my favourite fighters. Canelo Alvarez. From before, I would say Roy Jones Jr. I have a very, very similar style to Roy Jones Jr. And he was an unbelievable middleweight, so I think he'd be probably one of the people I look up to and one of the people I've studied along the years.
You're obviously not afraid to put pressure on yourself, because if you've got a very similar style to Roy Jones Jr., you're going to get a lot of people tuning in to see it.
Yes, definitely. Well, I wouldn't. People told me that I'm very similar to Roy Jones Jr., which is a very good compliment. Obviously, I have my own style, but to be complimented to someone like him is unbelievable. I don't put pressure on myself. And someone else want to put pressure on me, that's fine, but I can deal with that.
And for people that want to watch you on Saturday night and going forward, how can they catch up with you on social media?
Follow my Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter account. It's Caoimhin Agyarko.
You're probably going to have to spell that.
Yeah, so it's Caoimhin. Second name Agyarko. And also, can I say a big shout out to my sponsors: Heinz Plumbing and Heating, Queensberry, Minstrel Recruitment, O'Neill's Funeral Directors, CES Electrical, and Eurofire, and
I was doubting whether you're going to make it to the end there, but you did well. Well done. All on one breath as well, I think. All right, we wish you the very best luck on Saturday. We look forward to watching you work out as well.